Welcome back to the final gentle flow of this series. This is going to be our final full body stretch, stretching everything throughout the body and releasing any tension. So come to a comfortable seated position, preferably on your knees if you can. And we're just going to take some deep breathing here just to start. So inhale and expand the belly, and then exhale through the nose. Inhale. And exhale through the nose. Take one more deep breath here. And then we're going to tuck the toes under and sit back on our heels to really stretch our toes out. We're going to take some neck stretches now. So take your chin to your left side, down to your chest, over to the right side, and then all the way round and back over to the left. Chin to left, to chest, to right, and then all the way round. Take one more in this direction. And then change direction. So take your chin to your right shoulder, to your chest, left shoulder, and then all the way back and round to the right shoulder. Take a couple more neck circles in this direction just so we're all balanced. Then plant your palms on the floor, shift the weight forwards and just wiggle your feet out here just to stretch the ankles and the feet. Come back to that seated position where you're sat on your heels and clasp your hands back behind you. You should feel a nice stretch on the front of the shoulders here. You can move from side to side just to ease into the stretch a bit more if that feels nice. Remember your deep breathing here. So inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Plant the palms and lean forward, just wiggle out your toes one more time and roll the ankles here just to get full mobility in the ankles. Make sure you roll in both directions here, a couple of circles each way, and then when you're ready, come back to sit on your heels in your kneeling position. We're going to stretch the shins out here, so we're going to lean slightly back, and if you can, pull the knees off. Your hands can stay on the floor here, or if you feel really strong and stable, you can bring your palms up to heart center. Take one more breath. Plant the palms on the floor here, tuck the toes under, and come all the way up really slowly to your ragdoll position. You can bounce through here to just open up the body, or you can stay and just hang. Walk the hands all the way out here, coming to your first downward facing dog position. Push through the shoulders here, or pedal the knees, whatever your body needs today. Just allow there to be movement through this one, just to wake up the body. Come forward to high plank on the inhale. Exhale, drop the knees and drop the chest and chin down all the way to the floor. Inhale, come up to your Sphinx pose. So your elbows are at 90 degrees and you're squeezing your core here. Take one more breath here. And then on the next inhale, you can either stay here or you can come all the way up onto your fingertips for a deeper back bend. Make sure you squeeze the core here and pull it in tight to protect your lower back so there's no tension. Inhale, and then on the exhale, melt all the way down to the floor and come to a child's pose just to release the lower back. Tuck the toes under and send the hips back for a downward facing dog. Try and push through the shoulders a little bit here. On the next inhale, we're going to bend the knees and step or jump between the palms, coming to a ragdoll position. So hands on the floor if you can, or you can grab the elbows and bounce or rock from side to side. Just release the spine here and just wake up the hamstrings a little bit more. And then on the next inhale, roll vertebra by vertebra all the way up to your standing position. Roll the shoulders back here and tuck the tailbone under and just take one deep breath. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky, palms touch, and then exhale, fall all the way down to the floor, palms to floor. Inhale, come up for a halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, plant the palms, step to high plank. Drop the knees and lower all the way down for your chaturanga. Inhale, roll forward. You can bend the elbows here or you can come up to full cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes under and send the hips back for downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here. Focusing on having a straight spine and really spreading the fingers here and pushing them into the floor. Push your heels down into the floor for one more breath. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward. Step the feet between the palms and come up to a halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, palms to floor, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to skywards. And then exhale, come back to your mountain pose. Then coming through Seria B, so inhale, sweep the arms, bend the knees, come to chair pose. Exhale, fold all the way down to the floor, palms to floor. Inhale, come up for a halfway lift with a flat back. And then exhale, plant the palms, step back to high plank. Drop the knees here and lower all the way down to the floor for chaturanga. Inhale, roll forward and come to your cobra. Exhale, send the hips back for down dog. Inhale, lift the right leg to the sky, bend the knee, and plant the right foot between the palms. Drop the left knee down here, and inhale, come up for your low lunge. Cactus the arms here, and then exhale, sink the hips down, really opening the chest. Take one more breath. Inhale, come up to center. And then exhale, plant the palms and frame the front foot, stepping back to high plank. Bend the knees and lower all the way down for chaturanga. Roll forward and maybe take upward facing dog this time, lifting the thighs off and pulling the shoulders back. Exhale, send the hips back for downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up to the sky. Bend the left knee and plant the foot in between the palms. Drop the right knee down to the floor for low lunge. Inhale, coming up. And then exhale, cactusing the arms and sinking the hips all the way down. Squeeze your glutes and your core here to protect the lower back and make sure we're not sinking into it. Inhale, come back up to center. And then exhale, plant the palms and step back to high plank. Maybe lower full chaturanga this time. And then inhale, roll forward for your upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips back for downward facing dog, staying here for 3 deep breaths. There might be more space in the hamstrings now, so push your feet into the floor if you can. Staying here for 1 more deep breath. Inhale, bend the knees, step or jump the feet between the palms, coming up to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way down for forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms, come up to your chair pose. And then exhale, come up to your Tadasana mountain pose. We're going to get a little bit stronger through the legs here. So inhale, sweep the arms, coming to chair pose. Stay here for the exhale. And then on the inhale, bring the heels off, coming onto your toes. Exhale, drop the heels back down. Inhale, lift off. Exhale, drop them down. One more time. Feel the fire and the heat start to build in the legs here. And then inhale, come all the way down to the floor to a halfway lift. And then exhale, fold all the way down to the floor. Step back to plank. Chaturanga. And then inhale, roll forward, thighs off if you can for upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips back for your downward facing dog. We're going to inhale, lift the right leg, bend the right knee, and plant it in between the palms, bringing our back knee down to the floor. Sink your hips down for a low lunge again here, but this time we're going to bend the left knee and bring the left leg in. So grab the left foot either on the outside or the inside and pull it closer to you, really stretching the quad and the hip flexors here. You can bend the left elbow here to pull the foot in closer, and then take one more deep breath here. Take one inhale, and then on the exhale, release the foot, plant the palms to the floor, lift the left knee off, and inhale, come all the way up to your warrior one. So your left foot should be at 45 degrees here if you can, and really square the hips. Straighten the front leg, and then exhale, fold all the way forward, trying to get a flat back here. So really reach forward. Take an inhale, and then exhale, fold all the way down over the front foot. You can come up higher if that's easier for you, or if there's space, you can take the hands all the way to the floor. Stay here for one more breath. Inhale, bend the right knee, shift the weight slightly forwards and come all the way up to your standing splits, so your left leg is extended. Really square the hips here, it doesn't matter how high or low you are. We're going to bend the right knee here and bring the left knee all the way into touch, still balancing, and then come all the way up to standing with your left knee bent at 90 degrees. You can place your left hand on the hip here or on the knee, and then take the left knee out sideways. Choose your focal point to keep you stable, and then bring the left knee back in and step it all the way back behind you, a big step back, and turn the feet so you're facing the side of the mat. Place the hands on the hips, and on the inhale, lean slightly back, and then exhale, fold all the way down to the floor. You may be up higher, that's fine, or your palms may be to the floor. Turn your toes slightly inwards here and shift the weight a little bit more forward onto your toes. Stay here for one more breath. Inhale, bend the knees here and walk the hands all the way to the front of the mat so the feet are facing the front as well. Walk your hands on the inside of the right foot, and then exhale, just shift the weight forwards and back here in your lizard pose. This should open up the hip a little bit more, but if you do need to bring the knee down, that's okay. Really plant the palms on the floor here, and then step your right leg back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, come to high plank. Exhale, bend the knees or full chaturanga all the way down. Inhale, roll forward for your upward facing dog with the thighs off. And then exhale, send the hips back for your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg to the sky. Bring the left knee into the chest and plant the left foot between the palms. Bring the back knee down here, coming to your low lunge. Sink your hips all the way down. And then bend your right knee and use your right hand to grab your right foot. You can pull the foot in closer here, bending the elbow for a deeper stretch. Take 2 more deep breaths here. Hold for the inhale. And then exhale, release the foot, plant the palms, and inhale, come all the way up to your warrior one. So your right foot should be at 45 degrees here, arms above the head. Straighten the front leg here. Reach all the way forward so you have a flat back. And then on the exhale, fold all the way down to the floor, keeping a flat back as much as you can. You may be up higher, or if you can, do the same on the other side if your palms were to the floor. Really square the hips here and take 1 more deep breath. Inhale, bend the left knee and shift the weight all the way forwards into the left leg, coming up to your standing splits. Really point the right toe here to activate the leg and square the hips as much as you can. Really ground that left big toe in the floor to help you with balance here. And then on the inhale, bend the left knee, bring the right knee in, still balancing, and bring your right knee to 90 degrees. Your hand on your hip, and then use your right hand to take your right knee out to the side. Inhale, bring it back to center. And then exhale, take a big step back and turn your feet so you're facing the side of the mat. Inhale, clasp the hands behind you, pulling the shoulders back here for a little back bend. And then exhale, melt all the way down to the floor. Wiggle your shoulders here to pull them back a little bit more and really stretch them out. Stay here for 1 more breath. Inhale, plant the palms and bend the knees. And walk all the way around to the front of the mat. Wiggle your left toes out and bring both hands on the inside of the left foot. And then on the exhale, just wiggle back and forward here, just to open up the hip on the other side. This should feel quite nice now we've done a lot of hip openers. On the next inhale, step back to high plank. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. So really spread the fingers out here and push the hands away from the floor, rounding the upper back. Squeeze your core as tight as you can. And then slowly lower on the exhale all the way down to the floor. Release the hands by your side, and then in the next inhale, we're going to come up to locust pose. So inhale, lift the legs up, arms up, pull the shoulders back. Squeeze the core here to protect the lower back. 1 more breath. And then exhale, melt all the way down to the floor. Tuck the heels under and send your hips all the way back to your child's pose. And then tuck the toes under and come back to your downward facing dog. Staying here for 2 more breaths. Push into the shoulders a little bit more if you can. On the inhale, bring the right leg all the way up to the sky. Bend the right knee and open up the hip, stacking the right hip on top of the left. Really pull the foot into the bum here. And then bring the knee into the chest, rounding the back. And plant your palms on the floor, coming up to a high lunge. Exhale, plant the palms to the floor. Press the left palm into the floor here and pull the right arm all the way upwards. Look towards the right fingertips. Get your stability here with really strong legs. And then inhale, come up onto your fingertips if you can, keeping the focus. And come all the way up to your high lunge of rotation. Arms spread out and to the side and really strong. And then if you can, bring your palms to your heart center. And place your elbow on the outside of your right knee, pulling your heart all the way around to the side. Try and get your heart and your thumbs to touch, really rotating here. Wobbles are normal, so don't worry. And then on the exhale, plant the palms to the front of the mat and step back to high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down for chaturanga. And then inhale, roll forward, thighs off for your upward facing dog. Exhale, send the hips back for your downward facing dog. Inhale, bring the left leg to sky, bend the left knee, and open the hip here, really pulling the heel into your bum for one more breath. Bring the left knee into your chest, planting between the palms. Inhale, come all the way up for your high lunge, sinking the hips down. And then exhale, plant the palms to the floor, really pressing the right palm into the floor here, and then rotate the left arm all the way upwards, looking towards the left fingertips. Get stable here with really strong legs. And then on the inhale, come onto your fingertips. And if you can, come all the way upwards to your high lunge on the other side. Arms really strong and straight, and find a focal point. Bring your palms to your heart center. And then if you can, bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee, and twist all the way around, bringing your heart towards your thumbs. Really strengthen the right kneecap here to keep you stable, and stay here for one more breath. Inhale and plant the palms to the floor and step back to your high plank. Exhale, lower all the way down for chaturanga. Inhale, roll forward for upward facing dog, thighs off. And then exhale, send the hips back for your downward facing dog. Staying here for 2 more breaths. If there's more space than there was at the beginning, try and go a little bit deeper into the pose. Maybe that's straightening the legs, or maybe that's pushing the heels into the floor here. Inhale, bend the knees, look forward and come to a seated position. And then bring your legs all the way up to your Navasana boat pose. So your legs are at 90 degrees. Hands can be on the floor, but try and keep them off, just for a stronger core exercise. Stay here for 1 more breath. Inhale and reach a bit more forward. And then exhale, plant the palms to the floor and the feet. And then we're going to send the hips all the way up for a reverse tabletop. So your fingertips should be facing your feet, and really use your glutes here to pull your hips up higher. This should feel like a nice stretch along the quads and along the front of the shoulders. Stay strong for 1 more breath. And then exhale, drop the bum down to the floor and stretch out the legs out in front of you. Have a really tall, straight spine here, and inhale, lift the arms up. And then exhale, fold all the way forward for your seated forward fold. You may still be up really high, or you may be able to grab the feet, or your hands may be on your shins. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And on the exhale, just try and go a little bit deeper into the pose, as there should be a little bit more space. Inhale, bend the knees and come up. And then exhale, really slowly roll all the way down to the floor. Bring your knees into your chest and gently rock side to side to release any tension in the lower back. Come up to a happy baby if that's more comfortable. So grab the outside of your foot and rock from side to side here. Bring the knees into your chest. And then cactus the arms out to the side and take your knees all the way over to the right side of the mat, looking towards the left for your spinal twist. Inhale, bring the knees back to center. And then exhale, take them over to the left side, looking towards the right. Inhale, bring the knees back up to center. Pull the knees into your chest and give yourself a nice big squeeze here. Hold for the inhale. And then exhale, relax all the way back for your shavasana. Get comfy, grab a blanket if you want to, and just let your feet fall out to the side, your fingers naturally curl, and release your jaw. Gently bring some awareness back to your body, wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. Gently rock your head from side to side and give yourself a stretch. And then when you're ready, come all the way up to a comfortable seated position with the eyes softly closed. Roll your shoulders back here and just take one deep breath. Bring your palms to your heart center. Inhale to lift them all the way up to the third eye, the forehead. And then exhale, namaste. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoyed this series, and I will be doing another few series on my channel, so watch out for those.